Hello and welcome to this week's edition of Robin's Roundup. I'm Sean Watts.
And I'm George Smith.
On this week's edition of the show, we're going to be catching up with Russ Milton, who's going to be talking us through the last week and January signings as well. We've got Luke Saunders in to give the fans' view. We're going to be catching up with James from the commercial team. George is going to give us some ticket information, and Scott Brown is going to be doing teammates.
It was really great to see so many of you listening to last week's edition. I know it was slightly different, sort of our diary of our day at Luton. We're always looking for new ideas and for people to help out. It's great to have Luke in today, so thanks for coming, Luke.
No problem.
If any of you want to get involved or have any ideas, please feel free to contact me. My email address is george.smith@ctfc.com, all lowercase. As I say, always looking for new ideas and want to get fans involved as much as possible.
So, talking of fan inclusion, we've got an exciting and exclusive podcast competition that you're going to want to win.
Where we're giving one lucky listener the chance to have their photo taken with their favourite Charlton Town player on the pitch at the LCRL Stadium before the next home game. All you have to do to enter is email me via george.smith@ctfc.com and tell me who you want to have your picture taken with and why. The winner will be selected at random later in the week.
So let's get straight into it. Here's assistant manager Russell Milton on the last week and January as well.
So Russ, on Saturday after the game, the gaffer mentioned how it was obviously disappointing to concede so late. Sort of a few days later, how's everybody feeling around the camp?
I think we've got over it. We obviously, we're aware of that one and the Plymouth one where we conceded late goals, but we've got over it, and I think as a whole performances have been good. Big improvement on before. And we just got to, be resilient and keep the performances up. Don't lose those performances that we've had, I'm sure we'll go in the right direction.
Well, it obviously feels like 2 points dropped. If last week when you were driving up to Luton, if I'd have said to you 4 points from these two games and you'd be 4 points clear of the drop zone, you probably would have taken that, wouldn't you?
Yeah, definitely. I would have took that all day long. So it's given us a little bit of breathing space. Obviously, we don't want to be looking behind us. We want to be looking in front. And we said, if we, they kept those two and not conceded those 2 goals, we'd have been, 32 points and well away from it, pretty much. But we are where we are. It'll keep everyone on their toes. No one to get complacent, and we'll look forward to Notts County Saturday.
Gary said at the end of December that major surgery was needed. 9 players in, even more out. That's pretty major, isn't it? Yeah,
it is. Yeah, you're never really sure that things will work out. So far, they have. The players have come in and done really well. The group that are still here have, embraced them in the squad really easily. So everyone's fitted in nicely. They're all good lads and good players as well. So. As we sort of sit now chatting, I think things are quite good.
This Saturday we're coming up against Kevin Nolan, Alan Smith and Shola Amiobi. It's a bit of a strange mixture in League Two, isn't it?
Yeah, there's a few appearances there, isn't there? Premier League and I suppose Smith's won the Premier League and I suppose, with Man United. So there's a bit of knowledge in that dressing room, whether they can get it over to their boys or be another thing. They've had a number of changes as well, so... they'll be open for an upturn like we've had in their next few games. So, but of course, as long as it's after Saturday, we don't mind.
Everyone talks about this raised sort of 6-pointer. You could probably sort of use that tag for this game. As a coaching staff, do you have to do anything different for a 6-pointer, or is it just exactly the same?
Not really. We focus on, as I've mentioned before, performances. Focus on how we're going to play and what they've done, and we'll look at them as well in Notts County this week, and then just get as much into the boys as we can without flooding their brains too much with what we need them to do. So, and then it's out you go, perform as you have done, and see where it takes us.
Brilliant, thanks very much, Ross.
Cheers.
So that was George catching up with Russell Milton there. So now we're going to have Luke Saunders in with us. Luke, how are you feeling as a Cheltenham fan at the moment?
Yeah, I'm very positive. I think the last few games, and we were on a good little run. 4 points from the last 2 games, and we got some big games coming up against teams in and around us down at the bottom. So yeah, I'm feeling confident.
Obviously, towards the end of 2016, things weren't going brilliantly. I think everyone in the club admitted that. Have you noticed in the last few weeks, not just yourself, you say you're positive, have you noticed in the stands a sort of a more positive feel?
Yeah, there is. There's a lot more positive energy around the stadium. The atmosphere, especially at home games, has improved as well as the season's gone on. I think at the start of the year, things were a bit quiet and fans were a bit nervous. But now, the new signings coming in and the way the team's playing, there's a lot better atmosphere, a lot more noise as well.
If we just take it back to Saturday, the Newport game is obviously a bit of a kick in the teeth to concede in the last minute. But I suppose 5 points from the last 3 games isn't a bad return, is it?
No, not at all. I think the result at Luton was the standout in recent games, and obviously the pitch didn't help on Saturday, and that didn't favour us at all. But it's a positive result. A point is a point. I know we conceded a last minute goal, but you've got to think positively. As long as you're picking up points, you're doing well.
As I said, we had a slow start to the season. There's still a long way to go, but what's your personal feeling about like the next 3 months? Are you feeling confident we can stay up?
Yeah, 100%. I must admit, 2 years ago when we were on a slump and when we went down, I did feel as if it was only going one way. This year, I feel completely differently. I'm not really that worried about relegation. I do feel as if we'll pull out of it. Very confident. The new signings look more than capable of doing the job. Very impressed with Carl Winchester. Looks like a really good footballer. Yes. Right.
You mentioned Carl there. Anyone else that stood out for you personally in the home games?
I think Jack Barthram. He's really come on over the last few weeks. I think we play very well when we play with wing backs. Also Alex Pike. I'm very impressed with him as well. It's great to have Scott Brown back. That's another thing with the fans. It really lifts the fans when you have players that have come back and really, lifted the club. On Razy and Will Boyle too, rock solid. One's quick, the other one's good in the air. Complement each other really well.
Cool.
Good. Well, that's some very positive words there from Luke. So now we're going to head over to James from the commercial team, who's going to give us a quick update.
Cheers guys. Pre-match dining packages for our home game against Carlisle United on Tuesday the 28th of February have now all sold out. We still have availability for our next few home games against Yeovil Town and Mansfield Town at a cost of £50 plus VAT per person. For more information, please contact John Finnegan on 01242 588 107 or email john.finnegan@ctfc.com. We also have some exciting sponsorship opportunities for the new electronic scoreboard, including a main sponsor and a goal sponsor. Please contact myself on 01242 588 110 or email info@ctfc.com.
Thanks for that, James. Just a quick update from the ticket office. I know most of you will have seen by now that we've put an extra coach on for our trip to Notts County on Saturday. All the information is on the club website, but if you need any help, just call the ticket office on 01242 573 558 and they are option 1. Tickets are available on the gate for Notts County and for Stevenage. All the prices again on the website. But yeah, as I say, if you have any questions, just give the ticket office a call between 10 and 3 on Tuesdays, Thursdays and Fridays.
So now it's time for another exclusive interview we have, and this time it's Scott Brown taking on teammates.
I've just got to interrupt you here, Sean. When you listen to this, please note that as Brownie is answering these questions, he's in Gav's physio room, putting his tape on for practice, and Carl Storer is lying in front of him having a massage. Sounds weird, but hopefully it'll all make sense in a minute. Scott, you've been here a few weeks now, starting to get to know your new teammates. So let's I'll ask you a few questions about them and see how well you know them.
Cool.
Okay, so in your opinion,
Yeah.
who is the funniest?
Stars.
Are you saying that because he's on the treatment table in front of you?
No, he's just a funny bloke.
Okay.
I'm Brownie.
Who's the loudest?
Stars.
No, Perry.
Not Pelly.
Nah, Stars.
Interesting. Who's got the worst banter?
Stars.
He's struggling here.
Yeah. Do you remember any names of anyone else, or is it just him? Who's the best trainer? Who works the hardest in training?
I'm gonna have to say the goalies.
Yeah?
The goalies work hard. Reece and Cal.
Goalkeepers Union. Who's the worst trainer?
Stars.
I'm gonna say Reece.
Okay. Best and worst. Impressive. Who do you think is the fastest?
Stars.
Granny.
Stars.
You can't go. I'm not letting you have
It's
that.
ridiculous. You got to stop it.
I can't let you have stars.
Cranners.
Okay. Who's the slowest?
Cranners.
Downsy, mate.
Now you can have stars.
Downsy. Slowest and stiffest.
Okay. Who's the vainest? Who spends the longest in front of the mirror?
Pelly.
Who's got the worst dress sense?
Pelly.
Ellie. How come?
he come in the other day. It was like he had like a medium. No, it was a small one. We was in the showers, weren't we?
Extra small.
And it was like an extra small gilet, like from the kids section.
How far was that?
I didn't know they did like muscle build. It was like a muscle build tank top, wasn't it, for kids?
Terrible. Something like that, take that.
In the sale, obviously, and the hat. The hat was horrendous.
Who's the most skillful?
Don't really have any skillful players. Just doing it.
Just hard workers.
Liam's not bad. He's got a few little
Liam,
tricks.
yeah, Liam, got Liam.
Who do you think would make the best James Bond?
Me,
You?
yeah,
How come?
because
Yeah. Okay. Right. Hard to get that one across on the podcast. But yeah.
I'm not going to say.
Right, finally, who'd you least like to be stuck on a desert island with, and why?
In the team,
In the
teammate.
squad,
Reece.
Yeah, Reece.
Because
Anyone that's known him will know why.
brilliant. Cheers, Brownie.
No worries.
Thanks for that, Brownie. Some interesting answers there, though I do feel a little bit sorry for Reece. So let's get straight into the chat about the Notts County game this weekend. Luke, it's quite an important one, isn't it?
Yeah, it's massive. I think it's almost like a 6-pointer. And the Notts County manager, he's turned around and said it's going to be their biggest game this season. They've reduced ticket prices to try and get fans in, and that includes away supporters. So I'll be there, and there should be a good away following, so a good atmosphere.
Are you feeling confident for it? Are you nervous? How are you feeling?
I think when we played them at home, lost 3-2, we were unfortunate. The two strikers that played up front, they're very prolific. Jonathan Stead, Jonathan Forte. I think they're missing them. So we've got a big chance on a good pitch to play some good football.
Did you go to the original game at home? Because it's quite an entertaining game, wasn't it?
It was, yeah. We went behind, got back into it, and then straight away they came back in. It was a roller coaster ride. I'm hoping for similar entertainment, but hopefully the result going our way this time.
I asked Russ this earlier in our interview. Alan Smith, Shona Amiobi, and Kevin Nolan possibly on the bench in the team. You don't often see that in League Two. Are you looking forward to seeing some of those big names?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, you see these players that come in. I remember Jimmy Bullard at MK Dons, and that's the beauty of it. But they're all past their age a bit. I think our young players have got the athleticism to beat them. So
You're not Gary Johnson, obviously, but if you were, what sort of team would you be playing?
I would stick with the wing-backs. I think we play much better, 5 at the back. Hopefully Cranston and Winchester come back. Obviously the Luton game, there was a specific tactical setup. I think we should play similar. I'd keep Davis in the side and get Cranston back in, but yeah, I'd stick with 5 at the back.
All right, going to push you, possibly make a fool out of you. What's your prediction for the game? Score prediction, please.
Okay, I'm going to go with 2-1 to Cheltenham. I can see us playing like we did Luton. It's a big pitch. We play well. We've proven at Crewe, the first game at Crewe anyway, that when we get the ball down and play a bit of football, we can really take the game to the opposition.
Well, thanks very much for listening this week. For those of you who are going up to Notts County on Saturday, have a good time and make sure you come home with the 3 points.